Hello everyone and welcome. This is Brooke Williams, your webinar organizer and marketing communications manager here at Frontline Selling. We'd like to welcome you to today's webinar, Lather, Rinse, Repeat. Leading today is Frontline Selling CEO and Chief Demand Creation Architect, Mike Scher. Mike is the heart and soul of Frontline Selling, passionately driving sales and strategic growth with undying commitment. Having spent 18 years in enterprise technology sales, Mike and his business partner Dan McCann founded Frontline Selling in 2002, and they understood that one of the secrets to successful selling is having the ability to tell your story to the right people more times. And we're certain they had developed a proven, repeatable process to make that happen for their clients. Their remarkable success has proven them right. Joining today, along with Mike, is Nancy Munro, founder and CEO of Knowledge Shift. Nancy serves on the advisory board for the MIT Enterprise Forum of Chicago. She's written several articles on innovation and learning technologies, and we're so excited to partner with Knowledge Shift today as we answer this question: what does shampoo have to do with selling? So thanks again for logging on. If you have any questions for these industry experts as we go along, feel free to chat them to us in the chat panel at any time, and we'll answer them as we open up for question and answers at the end. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Mike and Nancy, and we can get started.
Thank you, Brooke. And Nancy, are you there?
Yes, I am. Thanks for that intro, Brooke.
Okay, excellent. Well, welcome everybody. Thank you for spending a few minutes out of your busy days today. And Brooke asked the question, what does shampoo have to do with selling? Well, the answer is in the instructions, right? Lather, rinse, and repeat. Repetition is the mother of all learning, and we all go through repetition, even down, from the time we're children, and whether we're learning ballet, or we're learning to hit a baseball, or dribble a basketball, or play golf, for whatever it is, we're learning the skills and the muscle memory to repeat actions over and over and over again. And sales is really no different. And today I'm really moderating, but this is really for Nancy to share some of her insights in terms of how Knowledge Shift really helps organizations leverage repetition, leverage learning techniques to help salespeople become way better at getting more sales. And in our case, it's Knowledge Shift has been really helpful in helping Frontline and helping our clients get way more first appointments than they could if left to their own devices. So as Brooke mentioned, Frontline Selling, what we do is we help our clients get more first appointments so they can tell their story more often and sell more. And we've developed a systems and a process on who to contact and what to say and how to say it, and all the things they need to do to go ahead and get more first appointments. And we're going to share with you and even demonstrate for you how Knowledge Shift has really helped us and helped our clients, salespeople, become way more effective at getting way more first appointments. And as we get started, what I'd like to do is really kind of take you all on a little bit of a plane ride here. Is let's say you all sell something, and you all have kind of who your target market is, right? The types of companies you would love to prospect into, you would love to sell to, the types of people who you would love to find yourself, who are the buyers of your solution. So let's say you're going, you're flying from Atlanta to New York, and you battle traffic to get to the airport, and the gate agent, you got your boarding pass in your hand, you get through security, you get up to the gate, the gate agent calls your row or your zone, and as they're scanning your boarding passes or your boarding pass on your phone, yours makes a funny sound, and they say, oh, Mr. Sales Guy, oh, by the way, congratulations, you're a 1 millionth flyer, and I want to let you know that Joe Smith, the vice president of whatever, supply chain, and the vice president or the chief financial officer or the CEO of one of your top 10 targeted accounts happens to be on this plane, and he happens to be sitting in seat 1A. And you, as our 1 millionth flyer, you get to sit anywhere you want. What seat do you want to choose? Well, I think everybody on this webinar is going to choose 1B, of course. Now, if that were to happen, would that be a good day? Of course it would. If we sweeten the pot and we said, well, what if Joe Smith, that targeted executive, knew you were sitting in 1A, and he expected you, at least for part of the flight to New York, expected you to talk about your company, your value proposition, how you can help him run his business better, faster, cheaper, more effectively. That's probably even a better day. So if it happened one time, that's a really good day. But what if that can happen 2 or 3 or 4 times more a month than it's happening today? What kind of impact would that have on your sales pipeline? What kind of, if you can just secure 2 or 3 or 4 times more appointments this quarter, what's that going to do for your ability to close out your year? Well, we think it would be dramatic, and that's what we call a meaningful interaction. And that's what we do here at Frontline, is we share our system. We help our clients get more first appointments, more of those metaphorical plane rides with the right type of person who's genuinely interested in talking to them so they can sell more. We actually started our business as an outsourced appointment setting business, and that's a business that since 2002 has bucked the trend by succeeding every single time, never failing to get quality sales appointments. But because of that success, some of our clients, companies like VMware, companies like CA, companies like HP, came to us and said, hey, your guys are really good at getting appointments. Can you teach our sales guys to get appointments, more of those plane rides, because they would like the opportunity to tell their story more often? And we said, sure. So we developed all the systems and the processes that we use each and every day, and since 2004, we've shared it with hundreds of different companies, nearly 20,000 salespeople worldwide, and every single one of these people, whether they were young or old or selling big-ticket items or transactional systems, became better at getting more first appointments. And for many, the experience has been a career game changer. So you might be thinking, okay, so what's the secret sauce? Well, there is a sauce, but it's not a secret. The only thing, all those folks just like you all have the intellect, the talent, and desire to be effective. The only thing that you may not know is what we know, which is from doing this for 12 years and studying this for 12 years, is we've developed a repeatable process of exactly on any single day, who should I contact? How should I contact them? Should I call them? Should I email them? What should I say specifically should I say in those calls, those emails, those voicemails? How should I say it? What's the frequency and interval of follow-up? How often should I follow up? How many days or hours or whatever should I wait? But most importantly, it's the focus to make it a ritual, to do it the exact same way each and every time, and that's where we come in. We share the same systems and processes that made us so successful, made those 20,000 salespeople so much better than they were before. So it's sort of like playing golf, right? The secret to being a good golfer is being able to repeat that golf swing, and then be able to apply that repetitive golf swing to your drives, your putts, your chips, all the different clubs you have to hit. And that's really at the core of our process. But we found out that there was a little bit of a challenge, and that's where we turned to Knowledge Shift, because we knew exactly what to do, how to do it, how often to do it, and what needed to be successful. But one of the struggles we had, when we had some clients were able to adopt it and put the disciplines in place, but not every one of our clients. So we turned to Knowledge Shift, and they really helped us and helped our clients take all those best practices, all that proper form we use, and help repeat that, our prospecting golf swing. So we really wanted to help our clients make it a lifelong discipline, so they did it exactly the same right way each and every time. And that's where, we just always, we always say is we know what the right things to do. We just need to follow the instructions on the shampoo bottle: lather, rinse, and repeat. And that's when we created what we call our Staccato on-demand platform, where we share those best practices with our clients. All we needed to get them to do was get into the habit of making it a ritual and do it the exact same right way each and every time. And to help us with that, we found that those habits are really hard to form, right? So we really needed a way to reinforce our process with our clients So they were able to, not only they could become successful, but as they hired new people, as they brought on new sellers, whether they were young or old or selling big ticket items or transactional systems, 25-year veterans or newbies out of college, we needed a way to reinforce that process, and that's when we looked to Knowledge Shift for some answers. So what I'd like to do is turn this over to Nancy for a second and have her kind of walk you through the philosophy of Knowledge Shift and her very unique and very insightful approach to helping salespeople learn and repeat the proper disciplines.
Great. Well, thanks, Mike. Well, as Mike alluded to, the secret of learning a new task is practice, practice, practice. And what do they say? How do you get to Carnegie Hall? I think it's practice, practice, practice as well. And so one of the things that we have developed is a way to allow organizations to build in that practice point and to really become a master of a skill. Just ask anybody. Michael Jordan didn't make the basketball team when he was in high school, and so we practiced and practiced and practiced. I think there's a book out there, I forget the author's name, but he talks about 10,000 minutes. So if you put 10,000 minutes into something, you're going to master that skill. And so looking at this and then looking at how do you build in that practice, it's just like piano lessons, it's just like, as Mike said, the sport, any of those types of activities. To really get good at it, what do you have to do? You have to practice that. And so in the learning community, in the learning space, how do we practice that from a sales scenario? So if you go to the next slide, we did a lot of research around, how are people doing practice today? And so in the sales world, most people say that's role-playing, right? So I'd like to actually ask a polling question right now. How many of you out there actually do some form of role-playing?
And Brooke, do you have a poll out there for us?
I think Brooke, there we go. Yep. So just, real quick respond. Yeah, what is role-playing? Yeah, good one.
Great. We've got some answers coming in.
Okay.
Fun. Cool. So we got 70% yes, 30% no.
Okay. Interesting. I would have almost guessed a much higher percent. Usually when I ask that question, I get a much higher response. So this slide here shows the first image is more that traditional role-playing where you're sitting across the table from someone, you're practicing taking turns, maybe one person's the customer, you're the sales rep, and vice versa. Well, that works great, but there's a lot of times when you don't have access to that other person, or maybe it's a one-time event. And this is typically what I see is role-playing is done when somebody's first hired, or maybe you're launching a new product or a new initiative. You go through it once, and that's it. Or the other version might be in the middle here, you might design some type of e-learning, online learning. Maybe it's even, I've seen organizations do webinars like this where they'll practice role-playing with each other within the group. And again, it's typically done as a one-time event. You don't really get to go back and practice that script again. And then the other method I've seen is where your boss says, okay, just leave me a voicemail. How would you respond to this objection? Or, leave a voicemail and pretend that you're calling to get an appointment for me, and I'll give you feedback on that. And that's not very realistic either, especially if you have a large sales force. Logistically, that's just not a very conducive environment for, again, having that chance to practice that. And again, it's probably not done as frequently and as often as it should be to really master that skill. So what we discovered, we did some research around cognitive studies around simulations and role-playing, and really role-playing does work. Well, why does it work? There's scientific research out there that talks about how to build in emotionally based training into a learning activity. And when you are doing a simulation, which is role-playing, it has a physical reaction in your brain. There's studies that show there's a chemical mechanism in the brain that then alerts the brain to say, hey, let's remember this information. Let's put it into long-term memory, which then gives you the opportunity to have a greater chance of recalling that information when you're actually in the live environment where you have to actually apply that knowledge. So we've done a lot of research around this. I've actually spoken with a cognitive scientist that does a lot with emotionally based learning and how that impacts the way that you can recall information and the way that you apply it on the job. So as this slide shows here, it has this increases your chances of predicting future behaviors based upon the fact that you were emotionally engaged in that learning activity, which has a chemical reaction in your brain to put it into memory. So that's why we decided to build this role-play simulator. So we built Moby Roleplay. Exactly. And so Moby Roleplay works from any phone, is completely customizable to your sales situations, and Mike's going to share one of those with you in a little bit. The character that you are talking to in the role play is a real person that's recorded, so you feel like you're talking to a real person, and when you feel like you're talking to a real person, you are emotionally engaged in that experience at that time. The other thing that we built into it too is, how do I get feedback? How do I know I did well in that simulation? So we've actually built in a way to score the conversation based upon keywords that you use in your responses. So you as a company get to decide, what should somebody be saying when we have a sales objection? What should somebody be saying is a value proposition? Or how should sales reps be asking questions to kind of get at the heart of the matter when you're trying to uncover some type of solution type sales situation? And so all of these are scored automatically within the system so that I as a sales manager can log in, quickly look at everyone's scores, drill into each response, and look and listen to what they said, look at the keywords that they got credit for, and then give them appropriate feedback if they need that. But it allows that person to go back in repeatedly and practice, practice, practice. And as Mike will share with you, I think he's stated to us in the past, is that he's taken customers from what might take days and weeks to master to minutes. And so I'm going to let Mike kind of share that experience with you.
Yes, Nancy, and I do want to go back to when you just take folks back to a previous slide where you talk about sort of the traditional methods of sort of role playing, where you do the one-on-one and you got with another person, or that sort of thing. And one of the challenges, and I'm speaking from our experience only, because selling's a broad spectrum of situations a salesperson can find themselves in. Our expertise and what we do is all around the prospecting cycle. It's all about when you're calling into an account, you're trying to qualify a lead that comes in and you want to connect with that person, or you're cold calling into an account and you need to navigate through that account, how you deal with the administrative assistant, how you deal with a key player if they pick up the phone, how do you navigate through the organization. The challenge we had, Nancy, when we did that, when we had other people do it, was that the other person, that if you and I were role playing, you could just be, if you wanted to be a gatekeeper, just decide to be obstinate for just to be obstinate. You would not fairly represent what the response would typically be, and then it wouldn't be really a good use of time or effort by any, so it wasn't just very realistic, and it certainly wasn't repeatable in that regard. And so what happens is we have 35 folks in our headquarters in Alpharetta, Georgia, who do nothing but prospecting exercises and have been doing it for 12 years. And we've studied what works, what doesn't work, and we've been able to take all the mystery out of the prospecting cycle. So who do you contact? What do you say? How do you say it? How do you manage and create a repeatable experience with a key player or with an administrative assistant or whoever all along the way. So, our experience was, we knew what people should be doing, but we couldn't scale it in terms of getting people to practice, right? Get the Carnegie Hall. Mm-hmm. So that's where we turned to Knowledge Shift. And using the Knowledge Shift simulator, we were able to take all of our intellectual property on who to contact, what to say, how to say it, and I'm going to demonstrate this in a second, and we put it in a simulator, and we have literally hundreds of clients across 6 different continents, speaking all different languages, and the simulator provides our clients with access, 24/7, anytime. It makes our need for creating that repetition really easy, because it standardizes the way that we help train and onboard new folks, right? And then our clients can actually bring on new sales team members. Now we have clients who have literally on a Monday hire brand new inside sales. I got a client, inside sales business development people, hard job. And they hire people right out of college, and they sell very high value, like $400,000 or $500,000 average selling price type items. And those people, they hire them right out of college. On a Monday, they hire them, and by Wednesday or Thursday, they are able to get them on the phones, actually prospecting to real prospects. And they're calling CEOs of major companies. These are 21, 22-year-olds, and they're really, really effective. And the reason is they're taking our process and methodology, and they're using the tools, including the simulator, to put them in a situation where by the time Wednesday or Thursday of the first week rolls around, they've already seen and experienced and been measured on every situation that they could find themselves in. And so they have that situational fluency because they've been able to practice. Going back to the golf analogy is that, they know how to hit the driver, they know how to hit the iron shot, they know how to putt, they've already been around the course in a simulator, and now all they have to do is just repeat it. And the beauty is that we've had success with all types of learners, right? We've had new people, young people just out of college, 25-year veterans. They've all been able to to experience this. And what we found is that we talk about some people are audio learners, some people are visual learners, some people are kinesthetic learners. Well, we're really not one or the other. We're just sort of some blend of all three of those. But the kinesthetic learning is really, really important, and the role-play simulator allows us to do it. But as we've been able to reduce we've been able to get people on board it from weeks to to minutes. But just to get them competency, to really get from competency, it's literally been from days to hours. Within an hour or two, we get people competent, and then they could be not just being able to do it, but being able to have a competency, a certification in literally hours just by using the role-play simulator. So what I'd like to do is really share that with you right now and do a quick 2-minute demonstration. I'm going to have to go out to the Moby Roleplay website, and what happens here is that, and I'm going to turn my phone on. It's really kind of fun to do too. So what happens is you have these different scenarios, and we have a couple of them here: how to deal with a receptionist, or how to leave the perfect voicemail, and how to deal effectively with an administrative assistant, etc. And then what we're doing here is all we do is we go in and we select that flow or that script, and we just say conduct this simulation. And then the system's going to go ahead and call, hopefully it'll go ahead and call my cell phone, and you guys will be able to hear it there. And there it is. And then I open it up, and
in this simulation, you will be calling to get an appointment with Charlie Ergen. His administrative assistant will be the first person you talk to. You will hear an audible tone after each prompt to indicate it's your turn to speak. Press the pound key on your phone each time you respond to tell the simulator you are done speaking. Mr. Ergen's office, can I help you?
Hi, this is Mike Scher from Frontline Selling, and your name is?
This is Sally.
Hi, Sally. I was wondering, is Charlie Ergen available?
No, he is not.
Then, Sally, can I ask for your help if possible?
Sure. How can I help you?
I appreciate that, Sally. Hey, I was hoping to get 20 to 30 minutes on Charlie's calendar for a phone call next week, either Monday or Tuesday, the 21st or 22nd at 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. to talk about helping EchoStar's sales team get more first appointments so they can tell their story more often and sell more. Sally, can you tell me the best way to go about doing that?
That would require an act of God. Anyway, it does not sound like something Mr. Ergen would get involved with.
I can appreciate that, Sally. Now, one of the things we teach, Sally, is that rather than is to try to get a piece of collateral in Mr. Ergen's hands, and this is not part of the role play, by the way. But but I do have a couple of quick paragraphs I can share with Charlie. This way, he can see the topics we're looking to discuss. I actually have his email as charlie.ergen@echostar.com. Is that correct?
No, that won't be necessary. You can send it to me at sjones@echostar.com.
No problem, Sally. Hey, Sally, now I'm going to ask you, right? You said Charlie may not be the right person. In addition to the CEO, we also tend to speak to someone who's heading up the sales team or sales operations. Would that be somebody like either Nancy Munro or Andy Lewis?
One moment, and I will transfer to Andy Lewis.
Thank you very much, Sally. I do appreciate that.
Thank you. This ends the simulation. You may now hang up.
So hopefully everybody was able to hear that. But what that simulation was able to do for us was all of my responses were able to get recorded. And as Nancy mentioned, the responses go through it looks for certain keywords of the things that we teach. And what we're trying to do here for our clients is make sure that every time they deal with an administrative assistant, they can have a very predictable outcome. They can get exactly what it is they need out of that call. They can be productive. They can be courteous. They can be assertive. They can be effective in that conversation. And it's looking for certain keywords that we teach, and then it actually produces a score, and it gives me either a passing or a failing grade, depending on how well I did. I did ad-lib that because I was having a little fun with it. But the idea here is that if you approach the administrative assistant a certain way, you can actually get those responses to happen almost exactly the way they happen on the Roleplay Simulator. And by teaching salespeople, that's one scenario. And there's a handful of other scenarios that we teach. And then this way, whether it's an administrative assistant, a receptionist, a key player live, a voicemail, all these different scenarios, they get referred to another key player. We've documented all those scenarios, and we've built various role plays in there and various flows into the simulator. And that's where we've seen the competency of our salespeople, the uptake. And it doesn't matter whether they're 21 years old just out of college or they've been doing it for 25 years. The results have been dramatic in terms of the time to getting 2 to 3 times more appointments. We always knew that our clients who follow our steps can get 2 to 3 times more appointments. It happens every single time. Now with Knowledge Shift, now with the Roleplay Simulator, it doesn't take them 45 days to get there. It doesn't take them 60 days to get there. Sometimes it takes them 45 minutes or 60 minutes to get there. It's dramatic. So we're real excited to partner with Knowledge Shift. We think the technology is outstanding, and it's really been effective for us and for our clients. So with that, we shared with you a little bit about who Frontline is. We shared with you a little bit about who Knowledge Shift is. We've demonstrated some of the Knowledge Shift technology as it relates to how Frontline uses it. Brooke, are there any questions, folks? If you would like to chat in some questions, there's Brooke can go ahead and field those and then announce them to the group.
Absolutely, thanks. Yes, please feel free to go ahead and start typing. We have had a couple questions come in so far. Here's an interesting question for you, Mike. Many of our salespeople and their managers describe themselves as relationship sellers. how can this process help them and add discipline and repetition without undoing who they are?
Okay, so I think there's two dimensions to that question, right? One is from Frontline's perspective, if you have relationship sellers, we're talking about the realm of prospecting, and so I'm going to answer part of the question. I'm going to throw the rest of the question over to Nancy. But if you're a relationship seller, then sometimes that's a double-edged sword, right? You've gone into some accounts, you've built these relationships, and sometimes those relationships might work to your disadvantage within an account because you sort of get pigeonholed into that relationship and you want to go outside into another group within an account. Our process and our system and process will help you, gain access to folks outside, outside that, the core group that you're dealing with within an existing account. The other thing is, if you're a relationship seller, every relationship that you have always started with a first conversation, and all we're doing here at Frontline is giving you the systems and processes so you can get more of those first conversations, so you can leverage those relationship skills even more so. As it relates to in an existing relationship and how you can help, model that, I'm going to throw that over to Nancy and talk about how knowledge shift and Moby Roleplay might be able to help in that regard.
Sure, thanks, Mike. So one of the things that's really important within a relationship is building trust. And so in these conversations that you're having, whether, if it's on the phone, if it's face-to-face, it doesn't really matter, but if you can't build that level of trust within the conversations that you're having, we like to call them verbal transactions. Everybody has a verbal transaction when you're talking to a customer. I have verbal transactions with my teenagers all the time. Will you take the trash out? Those types of things. So as you're building that relationship, the more that you're building that value of trust in that relationship. So that's why in the simulator, when you're building in the keyword table, let's say, for example, the customer is objecting to something, you could just immediately come up with some type of response or defense mechanism. And if you get very defensive, somehow you're going to start maybe chipping away at that bond that you've had with trust. But if you answer that and respond to that objection in a way that still has respect for the individual, so you might say something like, I'm sorry you feel that way, or I'm sorry I didn't explain that correctly, let's talk about this. And so those are the key words that you could build into the simulator that you're going to measure someone against, because you're not only measuring how they say it, but what they say as well.
So Nancy, something as simple as doing something to acknowledge a concern that somebody you're having a negotiation or some sort of conversation with is a best practice, and you can detect that in the simulator, correct?
Correct. That's right.
Excellent. Hey Brooke. So what other questions do we have? I think we have a few more at least, right?
Yeah, there's several that are coming. We'll try to get to them all. We've been asked, what industries does this work for? Does it work better with certain industries than others?
Okay. Again, I'll start with answering from Frontline. Again, we're focused really on the top of the funnel and prospecting and helping. Only helping those people who think they can benefit if they had more first appointments. So our solution works across industries. It's totally agnostic to industry and value proposition. Doesn't matter what, as long as you're selling B2B, our solutions work. And we've applied the Roleplay Simulator on our process and our methodology from people selling anywhere from software to professional services to steel, commodity items like steel, transactional systems that are, $300-400 to multi-million-dollar type solutions of, public sector, healthcare, manufacturing, distribution, doesn't really matter. And again, we've applied that the Roleplay Simulator with those clients, and they've all enjoyed success with it. You want to add anything, Nancy, on that?
No, I would agree. I mean, we are installing this into every different type of organizations. We've even spun it off for a whole other population of kids that have autism to practice social conversations, and we have a rehab institute using it for helping people with brain injuries to recover their conversation skills. So there's really no limits to the types of conversations you can build.
Excellent.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah. What else you got, Brooke?
Absolutely. We have the all-knowing question, what does this cost? So what are some of the figures around cost?
Okay. So from Frontline Selling, our solution, we, well, first of all, we make money two ways. We do one thing, we help our clients' sales team get more first appointments. We make money two ways. We deliver two different ways. One is we have a staff of folks so people can hire us to go get appointments for them. So we have a team of folks. It's labor intensive. We sell that on an hourly basis, but we use all the systems and tools that we talked about today. The second way we make money is as where clients say, hey, I have my own sales team. We're trying to get appointments, and they would like to get more appointments for themselves. And that solution for a small sales team starts at $700 a month for an entire small sales team. We don't charge any, there are no contracts. It's month to month. You can cancel it any time you like. And it includes access to our sort of black box version of the simulator. So you get usage of the simulator through that, but only to the extent of applying it to your prospecting activities. It's, if you need it to then take it to other sales activities, you would certainly license it from Knowledge Shift. So Nancy, from a cost standpoint?
Sure. So because we're using phone-based technology, we sell it very similar to a phone plan. And so we can start off a plan as low as just under $400 a month based upon how many minutes you're going to need, or then, look at ratcheting you up to the next tier anywhere from $800–900 up to, if you have 60,000 minutes. I mean, we haven't had anybody go that high yet, but your cost per person goes down to about $2 a head. So it's a pretty inexpensive proposition considering what most simulation type of learning programs cost out there. This is an extremely cost-effective tool.
So either way, for us, getting more first appointments, typically it's, the results we see are clients getting 2 or 3 or 400% more appointments. If you merely got 50% more appointments from implementing our stuff, we would actually be disappointed.
And that answered another question about results that your clients have seen. So thanks for covering that as well. We do have someone logged on from Europe, and they say they have a team there, want to know if we have experience globally.
And again, I'll start with that and then let Nancy. So we've deployed this solution on 6 continents. We just rolled out our 6th continent. We did our first rollout on the continent of Africa about a month ago, and yeah, we have a number of international types of rollouts where we've and not only does it does our approach to getting more first appointments work, regardless of whether they're their experience level or value proposition or target market. It doesn't even matter which language they speak. So we've rolled it out to call centers in Cork, Ireland, where they have 10 or 12 different languages they speak. They have French speakers and Russian speakers and German speakers, and through the UK, through Morocco, throughout Europe, Australia, and through Asia. And
Yeah, same with us. I mean, it will handle, if you have a phone, you can talk into the simulator.
Great, great. We have one more question that's asking, Mike, for your in-motion option, do you offer a guarantee for first appointments?
Yes, yes, we do. And we can certainly talk about it. We've never failed to get appointments for our clients. We have certain service levels and guarantees that we wrap around this, and we'd be happy to work with you guys on that. But it's also interesting to note on that side of our business, we do not ask for any contracts either. We're not asking to sign up for X number of dollars or a certain amount of time. Everything we do is month to month. We are confident enough in our own abilities to deliver that we don't ask for contracts. In our in-motion business, we work month to month, a 28-day cancellation, and we have clients who have been working on month to month with us for 9 to 10 years right now, and we have to earn our stripes every single day with you and provide you value each and every day.
Excellent. We have one more question that's come through, and they say, I work in an industry that tends toward brevity. If you could encapsulate your service's greatest value in as few words as possible, what would you say?
Well, I'll let you go first, Nancy. So I can.
Gee, thanks. Brooke, what was it? They have their industry is in brevity? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I think just how do you say the most in the least amount of time? Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, right off the bat, the simulator accelerates the learning process. Okay. Plain and simple. And it does that by providing customized content that's tailored to your industry, your conversations, but allows you to practice it to master that skill with the feedback loop that you're going to get as well.
Okay, and for Frontline Selling is we give you all the systems and processes you need to get more first appointments with the right person so you can tell your story more often and sell more, period. Is that brief enough? I know Ben Franklin once said, I apologize for writing you a long letter because I didn't have time to write you a short one.
Great. Well, thank you guys. We have a couple of feedback comments that are coming in. Just thanks so much. What a valuable time has been spent here today. So, thanks. Great.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. If you guys want to get in touch with us, here's our contact information. You can reach out to Nancy at nancy@knowledgeshift.net. Don't forget the .net there. And on Twitter at KnowledgeShift. You can reach out to me, Mike Scher, mscher at frontlineselling.com. You have our contact information. You can reach me on Twitter at FrontlineMike. And if you want to give me a call, and I'm sure Nancy will make this same offer, if you want to pick up the phone and call me, here's my contact information. Feel free to call me on my cell if you want to learn more about our services. But if you just want to call and talk about, just have a conversation about selling more, be more than happy to have that conversation. Love talking to people about selling more. So,
great. Well, thanks everyone for attending.
Thank you, everybody. We appreciate it, and enjoy the rest of your day, and go get some more appointments so you can make those fourth quarter numbers.
That's right. Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you. Okay. Bye-bye.